Давайте включим запись. Okay. Ну что, как у нас? Yeah, probably, yeah, better to do it in English. So actually, the whole idea of today's meeting was about practicing either as learners or as teachers to deliver a class about speaking task for one of the most difficult tasks. And do we have any people who are ready to teach us using some of the ideas from my video? Do we have any teachers ready to teach? Hopefully, yes, because otherwise, what are we going to do? I do have a couple of ideas, but I think the best actually idea is if you have a task and you have difficulties about it, and you want us to practice it to see how it works, and you may get some feedback from me or from other participants. What do you think? Yeah, and start your cameras. There are more people than 2 people here. We have 8 participants. And it's better if we can see you, if possible. Nastya is here. Okay, Anastasia, Gipa can see you. Yeah, do we have any people who have probably, I don't know how much experience you have with teaching your own students? Do you now have students who are preparing for the exam and you have some difficult tasks or something? So you do. Is there anything you would like us to practice together? No, you would like to practice that is yourselves. Okay, what I prepared for you, maybe there will be somebody coming who is ready to teach us. Yeah, I mean, I have already shared lots of ideas on my video, so you can just take any idea and practice it. But what I thought might be useful for us today is, I don't know, have you bought this book, Verbitska tests from FIPI? There's this new version. And they have 20 speaking tests, and all tasks 4 are different. There's no space anymore. Remember, there were these like space exploration project and something. But they have some tricky pictures, I think. And I have already prepared a document where we can probably have a look at some of the tasks. Yeah, let me share the first one, and I'll tell you what to do in your breakout rooms. So this is the document, and we may have a look at the task. So these are pictures, and we see the name of the project, which is a family pet. And what they want us to discuss types of pets, so that pets are different. And they want us to talk about types of family pets we'd prefer to have. That's the project. Well, obviously, the other tasks are quite similar. Sometimes it's you'd prefer to have, and sometimes it's, this is a tricky picture, by the way. It's about preferred as a kid. So you see these differences, they actually take place in some of the exams. What I probably think we can do now, can we discuss this test one? I'll highlight it so that you don't confuse. We'll go to breakout rooms, and I ask you to brainstorm ideas for part 1 only. So I want you to brainstorm ideas to briefly describe the pictures, what is happening, and focus and create 2 differences, because you see, we need the plural form, okay? So you need a link, I think, to the document.
Does it mean that one difference for one picture and the second difference for the second? Or
no,
2 differences
in between. So there should be differences between the pictures, and the minimum is 2 because they want them plural, in plural. So, and it's mentioned in these documents for experts that no differences. It's not 1. It should be several, or 2 minimum. So we have about maybe, I don't know, 3 4 people for each room. So it's only sorry, I didn't send the link. So I copied it, but I didn't send it. Yeah, please follow the link and make sure you can have access to it. And we are going to brainstorm ideas. Shall we do the whole task? The whole speaking task? Yeah, once again. You're going to discuss all the tests, only the first one.
The first one.
Only the first one. Are you going to discuss all the aspects of the task, all the points, only the first one?
The first one.
Only the first. It's only about brief description, and so brainstorm as many ideas as you can. Okay. So there will be 3 maybe rooms with 3 people, 3-4 people in each.
Okay.
Now much more better.
The first
Thanks.
picture, there is a couple holding their daughter.
Yes. Watching how it moves or something.
And probably he's somewhere inside. I mean, at home somewhere.
Yes. Yes, that's the difference.
So as for the differences,
Shall we discuss differences or just the
and
description?
the differences as well, because it's the first bullet point. So as for the differences,
So the differences are inside and outside.
Well, the second picture is taken inside, maybe in the bedroom
Or in the library, yeah, because
or
it's
in the. I don't think maybe in the in the living room. Maybe, as we can see, a lot of books there. So.
Тамары включен этот.
Somebody has.
Тамара.
Mhm.
Okay, location is the first difference. The second, pets are different. Yeah, in the first picture there is a dog, and in
But a family pet.
yeah, and in the second there is a fish.
A fish in a little.
there is the problem with the sound. I can hear myself speaking.
Okay, who's speaking?
Tatiana.
Mhm.
Tatiana had it. Okay, I switched her off. Oh, this is what happens like when people have their mics on and there are family members around. Okay, I think, yeah, actually you managed to discuss things already. All right, so we'll wait a few more seconds till everybody comes back. Okay. Any questions? So something you wanted to say, but are not quite sure. We've got 2 pictures. Maybe the descriptions are more or less okay. Can you tell 2 differences? What the differences are?
First of all, location and types of pets.
How is location relevant to the project, the family pet?
How we can take care of our pets. So the first one needs to be walked, while the second one doesn't.
Yeah. So, and you can keep this pet just inside the house without walking the pet outside. Yeah, absolutely. So if you say the location and your children explain why it's relevant for the project, it's absolutely fine. So the location is different, which means a dog needs some space to go out, while the fish does not. And that's perfect. It's okay. It's about pets already. Yeah, very good. Very good. Any other questions? What do you call this tiny thing a fish is in?
A little tank.
Yeah, it's a little tank. It's a tiny tank, actually, for one
Maybe tiny,
goldfish. Yeah, it's just a tiny, tiny tank. Yeah, very good. Okay, any other differences? Oh, obviously, the pets are different and they are situated in different places. What else?
In the first picture, they spent quality time together with the family, while in the second picture, the boy is on his own.
Yeah, again, you need to connect it with.
Yes, I
No,
haven't read
how is
this.
it relevant to our project?
It's a good idea, but now you need to like combine them. What I would say, probably a dog is a kind of pet that you may have fun with together as a family
Mhm.
and
Yes.
play together, okay? While a fish is a kind of animal you just can observe, like the boy is doing. You
Mhm.
can just observe and you don't have to have fun with fish. You just enjoy it. And he looks quite relaxed and pleased with his pet. Yeah.
Kind of meditation. Well,
Always, it's like always keep in mind, it's okay to find differences, but it really need to be explained why a pet, why it's a pet. Somebody's falling down. Мы кого-то слышим, удостоверьтесь, что у вас рядом с микрофоном ничего не хрюкает. Okay, and one more task. I think I'll probably slightly change you. Now you discuss advantages and disadvantages, okay? All possible advantages of having a dog and having a fish. Advantages and disadvantages, yes.
Having a dog and a fish.
Yeah, 2 rooms. Yeah, nice.
You need to go outside and
Go for a walk with your dog and breathe fresh air. While
So
out.
is it an advantage? I suppose it is
Uh-huh.
a disadvantage.
Is it yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
It
Yeah.
can be very difficult to take your dog, or for
Yes.
example, in the
advantages, keeping a dog is needs time. Yeah, needs time to
Walk.
to walk with it, and then to feed and groom after.
tablet,
okay.
and they
You
can eat them for a week or
Uh-huh.
just maybe for 10 days.
Okay, but if I can argument and I think that it's an advantage to take a dog with me, while I can't take a tiny tank with me, so why not? Will it be a practical mistake?
No, I don't think so, because advantages and disadvantages can be different for everyone.
Okay, which is another
As,
one.
as you can see as an advantage, I can see as an disadvantage.
So the same with the dog, yeah. If we talk about, for example, the active lifestyle, yeah. So what I mean is you have to walk your dog.
Yeah, some new people joined us. I see Elena and Laura. I have just sent a link. If you go to the chat box, you'll see the document we are working. So we are practicing some speaking tasks from Verbitska book. This is a new edition and completely new task. Okay.
Where is the link in the chat box?
Yeah, in the chat box.
I can't find it.
Okay, yeah.
My chat box is empty. Now I can see.
So, okay, once again, I'm going to share and you give your lovely ideas. That I heard so many lovely ideas. So what is the advantages? What are the advantages of having a dog and having a fish? Oh, anybody?
What about the fish? Fish is swimming in the water and water is relaxing.
So it's an advantage for a person who owns a fish, right? Yeah.
And so you don't need to take a lot of care of fish, because you don't need to walk it or something else, just only feed.
Yeah, and feed only once a day probably. And that's
But taking a dog for a walk can be an advantage, as it's a good opportunity to lead an active lifestyle, and you can always go for a walk.
yeah, absolutely.
The weather
Yeah,
is
yeah, it helps you to be healthy, to keep fit, to get some fresh air. Yeah, all these ideas were
advantage is that a dog is a devoted animal, and it's always fun to be together to play with him.
yeah, absolutely. What are the disadvantages then, if any?
One advantage can be that while if you go on traveling, so you have to find someone to take care of it or to take it to a kennel.
And you should be
Okay.
responsible, for
Yeah.
the dog.
What you probably mean, if you have to go on a trip,
On a trip.
or if you have to go traveling. So in this case, no prepositions. So if you have to go on a trip or go traveling, so
But on the other hand, as I see it, it can be an advantage that a dog is an animal that you can always take with you.
okay. Oh, as well as fish. No, can you take fish with you?
Going on plane, for example, with a fish.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, probably not.
So and fish
And
can't
as
be
for
can't be a friend for you.
Yeah, but
Like
you have to organize things so that your fish wouldn't go on starvation.
Yeah, won't starve. Yeah, it won't starve. Maybe it won't starve. So
yeah.
you need to make sure your fish won't starve or your dog won't starve. Yeah.
And I suppose as for fish, sometimes you have to wash the tank, and if it is very big, it can be a great problem.
Agree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
can be
you
time
need
consuming, can
some-
be exhausting, whatever.
Yeah.
And you need some expensive equipment to oxygenate the water and all those.
Yeah, can be expensive because you need some special equipment. Oh yeah, for some.
Children might develop allergies to the special the food that the special, what do you call that you
Yeah,
feed the
food.
fish.
Yeah, it's food. So what
Food
you
might
feed
be
fish?
allergic. You might develop allergies to this kind of food.
So some people might be allergic to fish food. I think it has a name. What we call it, fish food, or fish feed. It can be. I don't even remember in Russian. I think it's some kind of
Корм по-русски.
not corn, but it's like, what is it made of? This kind of food. Какие-то
Dried worms or something like dried.
something, and I even forgot the Russian term. Okay, actually, food is fine. Fish food is okay. Yes, this food. Yeah, I know many people are allergic to it. Okay, again, in my real class, I would probably have another round where I will ask students to share their opinion. And the next stage would be assessment. One of you, so now I actually hope you'll be able to do that. Now I send you to breakout rooms to work in pairs where one student will be doing the task, 3 minutes, and the other student will be assessing. Again, we check if the descriptions and differences are relevant to this particular project. And you make sure you mention all advantages and disadvantages and answer the question. Before we start, do you have any questions about how to start and how to finish? Because I believe you're professionals, you already know how to start and how to finish. But anyway, don't forget, if you forget, your partner will tell you. So one of you is doing the task and the other is assessing timing and all the criteria, and maybe even language, if you notice something. Okay, so you need about...
Katerina, could you send criteria if you have them? Or we should remember, yeah?
Better if you remember them already.
Okay.
No, okay, in terms of communicative achievement, you just follow the answer. It should be relevant and all details should be given. In terms of logic, you just follow if it's clear, if you understand what the person is saying, if the reference is correct, if somebody mentions he or she, it's clear who they mean, and linking words as well. So if you, for example, start with the advantage of having a dog is that in bad weather, it's difficult to walk it out. Oh, it's not advantage. It's a logical mistake. Okay, so be careful. Just follow. Sometimes if we feel nervous, we may have some slips of tongue, but they will be considered mistakes. Yeah, and in terms of language, just listen for some grammar and vocabulary mistakes, and that's it. So you don't have to give points. All you need to is just follow the aspects and say what was okay and what was not okay. So I think 3 4 minutes. So one of you should be brave. Okay, so you probably agree. If you can't agree, invite me and I'll put you in different groups, probably for assessing other people. So 2 people in each room. Yeah, that's it. In one group, there will be 3 people, so there can be 2 assessors.
Well, in the first picture, you can see a family. They are playing somewhere outside, so they're having a
How is it going here? Do we have people who can present and who can assess, or shall I put you in other groups? Nobody's here. Okay.
we can see okay, we can see a boy who's standing inside.
Тамара не может участвовать, она ведет машину.
Поняла.
Поэтому куда-нибудь меня пристроите, пожалуйста.
Окей, кидаю. Поассесить хотя бы.
I don't remember what was the second difference actually. Okay, so let's see. These having these pets can have some advantages for you.
But can you hear them? Can you listen? My description. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I for example, I can hear you well, perfectly well. So
Okay,
other
but
people
yeah, my partner can't talk, and that's why she just only listen to me, I think. Okay, hey, Tamara, I have just found 2 pictures which are relevant to our project, the family pet. Let me give some information about them.
The boy is inside, maybe he's at home. Well, there are some advantages and disadvantages. The first advantage of walking with the dog is you can breathe fresh air. You can have active time and yeah, you have a good time. You have a great time.
That is all. Let's I forgot what was there. So let's keep in touch. Call me when you
Talk to you later.
talk to you later. Yeah.
Talk to you later. Bye. I think that everything was great here, and maybe the time, but I'm not sure about the time. Maybe
that was hard. I mean, it's always hard to control the time and to keep everything in mind. I think
Julia, that was your job actually, to check the timing. So the assessor always checks the timing and checks the whole answer. But I think it was okay because we started at 23 minutes, and when you finished, it was 26. I think it should be fine. Any questions, Anastasia, about your performance? Maybe you have as you were talking.
I have a question. Can I say, like, Anastasia, he looks quite concentrated.
Not the best word actually. He looks focused, or
focused, yeah.
Yeah, he looks concentrated on the fish in the tank, on the fish swimming in the tank. Maybe it's possible, but not as an adjective. Concentrated as an adjective is not used about with people. It's about concentrated juice, not people.
So we should say he looks quite focused.
Yeah, focused. Yeah, he looks focused. Or he's very attentive. Yeah. is
Yeah,
nice.
I know all these words, but when you start speaking, just everything
Ah,
slips
yeah,
out of
yeah,
your
that's the
mind.
thing. That's the thing, yeah. In order to have this like flexibility in talking, yeah, you need some experience maybe in doing the task yourself, in teaching many students, only then you can do it freely with any picture. But yeah, I think, yeah, what I heard was really nice. Yeah. Okay, nice. So probably we can move on. So at the groups, did you manage to finish? Was it okay in terms of timing? How is it? Timing. Timing is still an issue, right?
Timing is dramatic.
Yeah, even for teachers, you see, even for advanced students, timing is still difficult. And it was not a new picture, right? It was a picture we already discussed. We have already had ideas. We have discussed the language, and still it's like, yeah, timing is really difficult. Mostly because of these first.
Because you need to explain two differences.
Yeah, and now you, if previously you could talk about one advantage, one disadvantage, now you have to give 2 and 2. It's like it's 4 inevitably. You describe all them all inevitably.
And
okay,
should
what
you give an advantage and explain it? Another advantage and explain it why it's an advantage.
Well, maybe explanation is not that required, but what you say should be clear. For example, if you say the advantage of having a dog is price, what does that mean, right? Or fish, maybe. Yeah, fish is cheaper, obviously. It's the advantage of having a fish is its price. What you mean? What exactly? So in this case, the answer is not like complete, is not logical, is not clear. But if you, and you don't have probably even to explain, you say that caring for fish, or maybe having or buying a fish is cheaper than a dog, that's an advantage. So it's clear, the idea is clear, but you don't have to give any extra explanations. No, I think you won't even have time for that. Okay, what I said just now, probably you'll go to 2 bigger rooms now, and you can scroll down all the tasks from Verbitska book and choose the one you think is really very difficult for your learners. Okay, choose one or maybe 2. And also brainstorm ideas, at least talk about the picture, maybe a few ideas about advantages, disadvantages. So it's up to you what you choose. There are, I think, about 8 or 9 tasks all in all. So choose one which you think can be really difficult if students have this task in the exam, okay? And talk about it. So do you have, does everybody have the link? And you've got
they are in the same file.
They're the same file, just scroll down,
I don't have any link. Sorry. I have some problems maybe with my phone, but I can't find.
It's in the
now it's okay.
Thanks. Yeah, have a look. Maybe you may have different ideas about the difficulty of the task. Me personally, I think the difficulty is about toys, because one of the toys is like you have to know the name, otherwise you won't be able to do the task. Can you have a look at it? What is the toy in the first picture? No, let me share.
A dog.
Yes, it'd be better.
Yeah, this one. Okay, so here it's like a robot. It's more or less okay. Everybody knows a robot, right? But what about this picture? So the whole project is about toys for kids, and you talk about toys for kids. And if you don't know the name of the toy, you fail.
A baby in a pram? Is it possible?
The first one is doll, and the second one is a robot.
Okay, let's first of all start with the idea that in British English and in American English, they have different names. And if experts are really strict about it, children can't even, mix them up. Okay. And there are 2 types of this thing. One for a really little baby that can't sit. That's not the one we need. And another one is for a baby that can sit.
Toddler,
infant.
Yeah, you see, even you start struggling. No, okay, let's start with the one you don't need. I'll probably mark it with an asterisk. For example, so in American English, it's called, in British English, let's start with this one. That's probably what you know, a pram.
Pram.
Or little
Pram,
baby.
yes.
Stroller.
American English, it's a baby
stroller.
carriage.
A baby carriage or a stroller.
And that's exactly here. Oh, carriage, sorry. And a stroller or a baby stroller
A baby stroller.
is here. It's for babies who can sit.
For babies who can sit. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one.
So we can
And in
see.
British English, they call it a push chair.
A push chair. Oh, Боже.
Oh, it's one word. It's a push chair.
Push-chair.
So it's a,
Is better.
so it's a toy stroller. Oh, by the way, it's O.
Stroller,
It's
right.
O sound, yeah. And it's a push chair, or whatever. So whatever your children prefer, British English or American English. Or a toy push chair. So in our case, yeah, let me add it because that's what we need, a toy stroller or a toy push chair. On these ones, I'll highlight them red because that's not what we need. Oh, and it's a tricky thing. I think it depends on the committee. If a child with a pram, some people may say, no, that's not exactly the thing, like a laptop and a computer. Okay? So these are kind of different things, and students can be penalized. It depends on the committee. In some committees, they may say, no, it's wrong. Better to be safe with the exact words. Okay, so it's up to you.
So it's not the same if we say the laptop and the computer.
Первые два для лежачего ребенка. Это коляска большая, вот корзиной такой. Кстати, корзина без коляски это вообще a carry cot. A carry cot. Кот как кроватка, да? Малышковая. А вы ее носите, сумку вот эту в машину закидываете, да? Это без колес. Это carry cot. Кто их знает? Может, они уже carry cot нам дадут? Были же игры. Жмурки были, blind man's buff, вот это все было. А, Елена?
Это переноска имеете в виду, carry cot.
Переноска, да-да-да, вот без колес, которые в руке несем. И вот эти штуки, за которые мы несем, это hangers. Я даже поделала research, чтобы все посмотреть в Оксфордском словаре. Yeah. Ну уж так-то глубоко не надо, но вот хотя бы a pram и push chair или stroller должны бы знать, да, разделять эти коляски. Or scroll to the very end, there are some pictures of people. Кстати, да, давайте сразу еще one more thing. Я думаю, что там есть ошибки. Например, здесь, task number 8. The whole project is about keeping young. И нас просят 2 ways of keeping young for the elderly people. For the elderly people. Ну, for the elderly, окей, субстантивация.
Да.
Elderly people точно
elderly.
Ну, в пособии вербицкой с артиклем я удалила, мне кажется, оно не должно тут быть. То есть либо for the elderly, либо for elderly people. Может, с моим английским что-то не то. Если узнаете, расскажите, но вроде как не должно быть. Okay, what also we have challenging, we have pictures without people.
Да.
Okay, that's also challenging. And here, this one is more or less okay. And here, cultures of the world, we have kind of pictures, right? Or maybe it's a carnival, a festival, people dressed up in costumes, wearing masks. Может быть, еще можно выкрутиться. От нас хотят dressing up for cultural festivals. Some проект cultures of the world, okay. А потом дальше, which way of dressing up for a cultural holiday you'd prefer? И опять для меня cultural holiday это не нормальный чанг. Это может быть cultural event, cultural festival, cultural celebration, но не holiday. Вот для меня это
National holiday.
National holiday, public.
Коллеги, поддерживаете меня, да?
Конечно, конечно.
Поэтому я не знаю, я сделала celebration или event, пусть это будет пока по-нормальному. И, в принципе, когда детям даете, можно давать, правильный вариант, исправив вербицкую немножко. Okay, so it's up to you to choose one thing to discuss. Okay. Or look at all of them, just brainstorm the most difficult parts. So 3 or maybe 5-6 minutes for you to do that.
And
Yeah, millennials, yeah.
is, I don't know.
Millennials.
Alphas. I think new people are alphas now, called alphas.
Types of images. То есть представление там фотографирование, а здесь рисунок. Is that what is meant?
So describing and noticing 2 types of
Yeah,
images.
And the first one has nothing to do with electronic age. It's like the early way of producing images.
Producing images. Okay.
Remember, like last year, we had life without gadgets, and one girl was using a gadget, but the other was not. And that's, I think, a similar idea is here.
Probably this one is more difficult, no?
It will be more difficult to connected to justify the choice of pictures. So if it's electronic, what's the name of the project? One more time.
We can see a bowl with probably with soup, some kind of soup, or
With beans, yeah, with
a
beans.
bowl. We can see a bowl, yes.
Filled, it is served like the first course.
Yes, the first and the second is a snack. Just
No, it doesn't look like a snack. Just
not a snack.
And maybe we can describe it without continuous then, yeah.
And probably homemade and
way of producing a picture in our electronic age with special using special devices.
Right. So, and then we describe the photo, and if we describe the photo, so in the first picture we can see, I don't know how to say
It
this.
shows, I would say the first picture shows an artist making a portrait of a woman who is
Ways you can take it and go away. Yeah. Then disadvantage. Yeah, disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Maybe how much does it cost? Yeah. I mean,
the price. Yeah.
Yes, connected with the price. Yeah.
Yeah.
And cooking at home might be time
Cheaper,
consuming.
yeah. Much more cheaper than going to a
Well, on her mobile phone, she might be in London because we can see Big Ben. I think so.
Я бы не сказала, что she might be. Я бы уверенно сказала, she is in London. So as she's taking a picture.
Because I'm not sure.
No, this
I'm not
is
sure
London.
that she's
It's the
in
Thames.
London. Yeah.
The Big Ben. Yes, she's
A
definitely.
bridge. As we can see, it looks like Big Ben. And so she's using digital
Я бы вот это
digital
оставила,
device.
стала бы говорить этого в description.
Там просто описать, что она делает фотографии, да, что она там и делает
в общем, да, нужно сделать в общем. So she's she's taking pictures of sightseeing in London.
She's taking some pictures of London sites, Thames and Big
beans. That means that it's more. How can we say it?
Sydney, да, Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney, nutritious.
Nutritious. Nutritious питательные, а не сытные, собственно.
Oh, it's a feeling. It's a feeling dish, or it's substantial. So that's
Substantial. Good. Substantial. Yes, that's substantial.
I wouldn't say that a burger would be low in nutritional quality. Maybe it's a stodgy kind of food, more high in cholesterol.
The place, the location where these activities actually are taking place. The first picture shows a studio, an artist studio, while the second picture shows a person outside taking pictures somewhere outside. Advantages, disadvantages. Давайте попробуем.
Это сложно.
Watch
Advantage.
images.
Yeah, and this is what is expected from children in the exam, and they have 2 minutes to prepare only, right? That's
Right, right.
really challenging, yeah.
An advantage of а можно начать с другого? What I think is an advantage of producing an image with electronic devices is that it gives an exact copy of the image, and it's just in an instant, so it doesn't take much time, and in an instant you have a ready-made image.
Yeah, another advantage.
And you do not need any skills, special skills for doing it.
Right, right. Another one would be that, and it does not require any special skill.
Another one can be like you can easily share your picture, your image on social media.
Right, right. However, the disadvantage of taking a picture or making an image with an electronic device is that I think the process has lost a personal touch. So there is nothing special about it. Everyone can do that, and probably it's not valued as much as a painted portrait.
Yeah.
The advantage of painting a picture, a portrait of somebody, for example, is that it shows I don't know how to say that. It shows the personal attitude.
Beauty.
It shows the attitude, or it probably helps to establish a relationship with the model, because it takes quite some time. It's not only one sitting session. It takes more usually to make a portrait. It
Knowing how much time and effort the artist has put in producing the picture or the painting, probably the receiver, the model will establish this connection and bond with the artist. So that's probably about knowing how much effort it takes to produce it, and you value the image, the work.
And this
put it on the wall and remember this moment of you and the artist painting something of you. Yeah, but it's I mean, for children it's like it's extremely difficult.
It's very difficult. It's
very difficult.
Teachers, and so they don't study as much at school the topics of painting, art, special terms, and
that's the whole ideas are more abstract. Maybe the disadvantage, it takes more time, it can be blurry, it may not coincide with the original, may not represent it.
The receiver may not be happy with the result of this work, so that's a disadvantage. They may not be happy with the image.
The special tools can be very expensive.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It is white, and probably you can spoil it.
Yes, you need
with different spots, or now with some food can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have some space to keep these clothes and then to take care of it.
Yeah. Yes.
To
keep it thoroughly. Yeah.
Poor children.
Oh, that's life. That's
difficult. Yeah, advantages. Oh, well, okay. Oh, it was the last one, yeah. The test is 20.
No, that's not all 20, but these are just some more difficult bits that I think. So some pictures are about sports. They're more or less okay. Or some hobbies, also more or less okay. But these are, I think, quite tricky.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tricky, yeah.
Так, девочки, а нам можно все-таки по одному дать преимущество недостатку?
Можно по одному. Okay. Another group. Is there do you have any questions? Is there anything you couldn't say or couldn't come up with? Any ideas for some of the tasks?
Ekaterina Viktorovna, as for advantages and disadvantages, should they be the same? Advantage for the first picture and for the second? One advantage.
What do you mean by the same? Like the same advantage?
For example, I can say this dressing, the way of dressing up in the first picture is more difficult and
no, yeah, it's a disadvantage. So yeah, dressing the disadvantage of dressing for a carnival is more
it's time consuming, for
a
example.
more complicated process. It requires more time and effort to put on all these clothes. Fine, this is a disadvantage. And then you say another disadvantage of the second type of
the second
dressing up, right? So and then you say something different. You can't say the same thing. Probably, yeah, you can't say again that it's very time consuming.
Yeah, and it should be another idea.
Yeah, another idea for the second situation. That's what the task tells you. The two types of dressing up. Two types. So you say something about the first type and the second type. And the type of dressing up very much depends on what you say here when you describe the pictures. So, for example, you say they are dressed in carnival costumes for a, I don't know, what's this? Venice carnival is very likely to be in Venice, right? Or in Brazil. Oh, I think it's Venice.
Venice.
Venice. And then you say this is and the girl is wearing a dress for a Russian celebration. So she's celebrating one of the Russian traditional holidays. And then you refer to it as a Russian traditional holiday. If you say she is from Belarus, celebrating the day of Belarus independence, then you say the disadvantage and advantage of a Belarusian girl wearing this sarafan and kokoshnik or whatever. Okay, it very much depends on what your students say in the first part. Because
Ekaterina, if the student doesn't know about the festival in the first picture,
they are supposed to know by the age of 18. They are supposed to know. That's the school program. All kinds of festivals and celebrations. If they don't say it's in Venice, fine, just any festival somewhere abroad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, somewhere in Europe, yeah.
Yeah, it's somewhere in Europe, fine. It's just absolutely fine. Or maybe even in Russia, but it doesn't look like Russia, right?
Yeah, it does look like a carnival. Yeah.
The same about which way of dressing up. So they can't give any extra ideas that has not been mentioned before. What they mean by this which way, so it's actually because of this word which, который из тех, которые ты называл. It's which, it's not what way, like any way. Okay, it's only from the discussion that they have had before. And again, they choose, I'd prefer the way of dressing up for a carnival, wearing some costumes and masks, because blah, blah, blah. Okay,
so some elaborate costumes and
because
masks.
Nobody can see who is behind the mask.
Yeah, tricky, right? So actually, what is the disadvantage of wearing such? So people may think you are outdated, right? Probably, as if you are outdated, old-fashioned, and may not even be friends with you because you are different. I don't know. It's even dangerous now, probably, to wear Russian costumes because people who don't believe in Russian culture anymore, they can just fight with you.
А еду можно здесь привязать? Вот что здесь в первой там они ничего не кормят, а
Вы
во второй
привяжете, если у
кормят.
вас dressing up for cultural events, если у вас все про одежду. Причем тут еда будет?
А тут же cultures for of the world.
Ну, вы имеете в виду на differences?
Да, я вижу теперь, да. Dressing up.
Differences
Да,
можно,
они-
например, in the first picture, people are presenting a kind of performance, showing some theatrical performance, while in the second picture, she's maybe she's cooking something, or maybe she's selling some Russian food. Ну вот как бы привязали, еда-то есть, и как бы difference есть, и типы celebrations different, без еды с едой. Но дальше-то вам еда будет не нужна, потому что dressing up все равно про одежду. В общем, взрыв мозга, правда? Я буквально, у меня книжки самой нет, буквально, ну, просто некоторые сканы мне прислали. Я быстренько по этим сканам посмотрела, что посложнее, чтобы вам выбрать, заботиться. Вы все можете скопировать этот документ, файл скопировать, чтобы у ваших ребят, ну, хотя бы, если вы не покупали книжку, вот эти варианты были пообсуждать. Это Вербицкая, это 23.
А это уже 23?
Она уже есть в продаже, да?
Вот, коллеги, не очень советую покупать, потому что, пожалуй, вот это единственное, что там свежее. Тесты, в принципе, те же самые. Более того, они напутали в 3 или 4 местах страницы. Типа 35, потом 24. Вот оно вам надо за
Замечательно.
750 рублей. Если хотите, я, может быть, руки доберутся или Машу посажу. Мы можем, в принципе, все 20 вам сделать.
Ой, вообще.
Ой,
будет
было
здорово.
бы классно. Спасибо.
Да.
Ну, сделаем. Я или сама, или Машу посажу, сделаем.
Мгм.
Спасибо огромное.
Вот, потому что у меня есть
Понятно.
черно-белые варианты, а по ссылке у них есть цветные, и, в принципе, сделать самим это, ну, быстренько.
Мгм.
Вот тут все 20.
May I ask
Мгм.
Да, Оксана, конечно.
about those elderly people on those exercising machines? Are they not treadmills, or how we can call them?
Treadmill, it's a treadmill. No, it's
Like
Exercise bike.
it's a bike, it's exercise bicycle. Yeah, it's,
they're
it's
sitting.
not a treadmill, so they are riding this exercise bicycle.
And if it's a
Exercise.
treadmill, they are walking on, or how is it?
I typically say running. They are running on a treadmill
On a
because
treadmill.
it's not walking.
Mhm.
Maybe jogging or running
On a treadmill.
on a treadmill.
Exercising, yeah. It's
Мгм.
nature.
Да.
Очень вот
Much
это вот, да,
easier.
вообще неожиданно. Which way of keeping, of keeping young your elderly
Я спала.
relatives prefer. It's not even about you, it's about your elderly relatives.
Your
Which
elderly
you might
relative.
not have even, and they might not prefer any way of keeping young.
Ой.
Нам вот сейчас семья прислала, у нас
Living together.
еще на даче, им сделали там новую печку. Свекровь прислала фото, где свекр лежит на теплой печке. Вот у него way of keeping young, лежать на печке, спинку греть. Вот это life. Ну, у меня нет elderly relatives, которые ходят в зал или песни поют, например. Я не знаю, что сказать. Я не могу третий взять, потому что у меня which way. Понимаете? То есть я должна выбрать из этих двух.
То
То
есть,
есть, получается,
даже
надо
нельзя
набрать.
что-то другое взять.
Нет,
О,
это
Господи.
будет логическая ошибка. И еще могут не принять пункт, потому что он сказал не то, чего спросили. Его спросили, какой из этих двух. Понимаете?
Ой,
Ну, все ловушки.
бедные дети.
Но когда вы знаете это гораздо проще. И детям и
Да,
вам.
это точно.
Ну что, коллеги, целый час работали. У меня
Да,
сегодня
замечательно.
утром был практикум на курсе. Они мне там говорят, в конце уже час, там 40, мы говорят, ой, можно мы уже на русском, а то у вас уже мозг заболел. Может быть, да, когда напряженно, у нас 38-е задание, тем более было.
Мгм.
Окей, ну что, молодцы. Потренировали, побрейнстомили. И, в принципе, первым упражнением я попыталась показать такую наиболее типичную секвенс, которую я делаю. То есть делим на элементы, побрейнстомили, и потом обязательно сделать.
Да.
Можно дать похожую картинку, чтобы второй сделал, и сделал ассессмент уже первый. Ну, то есть поменять их ролями. А потом можно и какие-то еще пару заданий в той же теме дать. Уже на более такое экзаменационное задание. Понятно, что мы учителя, мы тут покидали и разные идеи на все темы, у нас мозг сразу закипел, и тут тебе и про бургеры, и тут тебе и про карнавал в Венеции. Но детям-то так не надо. Детей-то так, ну, я не знаю, в мае, да, в мае можно дать.
Ну, май, да.
Ну, давай. В мае, да, но не сейчас. Окей. Ну, ладно, все, тогда отдыхаем.
Спасибо.
Ну,
Спасибо.
спасибо,
Викторовна.
Дополним
хорошего дня.
файлик. Мгм.
А
Очень
можно
спасибо.
попросить, Дав, мне
Да.
файлик вот в чат выслать, потому что он у меня все время пропадает.
Дополним и
эти
ссылочку
ссылки.
еще разик сделаем. Все сделаем, дополним и сразу пришлем, продублируем, чтобы не терялось.
Да,
Ага,
спасибо.
большое.
Спасибо,
Всё,
до
всем
свидания.
пока.
До свидания.
До свидания.